Hello everyone, we're from Group 2. Today our group will present our analysis of four financial case studies that demonstrate key concepts in stock intuition and financial markets. This case illustrates how financial theory applies to real-world business decisions. Each case study examines a different aspect of financial decision making, such as firstly is capital budgeting for a studio expansion. Two is product line expansion evaluation. Three is break-even analysis for a new facility. Four is comparing financing option to equipment acquisition. Let's explore each case and the financial insight they provide. But before that, let's introduce ourselves. First, my name is Andi Krisnandura Tamrin with my partners here, Zaki Fitra Maulana and Nafa Shidan Zaki from Group 2 in MB47A. Let's dive into case study 1, the expansion of Nova Animation Studios. Nova Animation Studios, a well-established animation company based in Canada, operates in industry experiencing growth to increasing demand for high-quality animation content. To capitalize on this trend, the company management is considering expanding its production facilities. This expansion includes construction a new studio, upgrading production equipment, and hiring additional talent. However, the project requires a significant initial investment of $4 million. The financial team has projected that the expansion will generate annual cash inflows of $670,000 over a 16-year period. The company applies a discount rate of 11%, reflecting the cost of capital and project risk. The critical question facing management is whether this expansion is financially viable. As a financial analyst, your task is to evaluate the project using three key investment analysis methods. First one is net present value or NPV, profitability index or PI, and internal rate of return ERR. Based on these metrics, you will provide a recommendation to the CEO and shareholders regarding whether Nova Animation Studios should proceed with the expansion. Okay, we are going to start by counting the net present value. Net present value or NPV measures the present value of future cash flow minus the initial investment. A positive NPV indicates that the project adds value to the company, while a negative NPV suggests it will destroy value. The formula for NPV is written on the slide, where CFT or annual cash flow is $675,000 or discount rate is 11% equals to 0.11, and our project lifespan is 16 years, and our initial investment is $4 million. Now moving on to PVA, the present value of the annuity. PVA is equal to the cash flow multiplied by the factor 1 minus 1 plus the discount rate R raised to the power of negative and the number of periods, all divided by the discount rate. Given a cash flow of $670,000, the present value of the annuity PVA is 4,980,934.2900. Then the net present value NPV is calculated by subtracting the initial investment from the present value annuity. Given a present value of annuity PVA of 4,980,934.2900 and an initial investment of $4 million, the net present value is PVA minus. So the result is 934.2900. The decision rule for NPV is that if the NPV is greater than zero, the project is considered acceptable as it accepted to increase the value of the firm. The firm. In this case, with an NPV of $934.2900, which is greater than zero, the project adds value to the firm. Okay, next, the profitability index, often abbreviated as PI, is a measure used in capital budgeting to assess the attractiveness of the project. It's calculated as the ratio of the present value of all expected future cash flow to the initial investment required for the project. The formula for the PI is the present value or future cash flow divided by the initial investment. In this case, the present value of future cash flow is 4,980,934 and 2,900, and the initial investment is 4 million. Therefore, the profitability index is calculated as 4,980,934 and 2,900 divided by 4 million, which is equal 1.2452. Rounding this result, the profitability index is approximately 1.2452. The decision rule for the profitability index is that if the PI is greater than 1, the project is generally considered profitable and acceptable, as is indicated that the present value of the benefit exceeds the cost is since our calculated PI of approximately 1.2452 is greater than 1. We can conclude that the project is profitable. Now look at the second calculation. The equation presented show the fundamental relationship used to solve for the internal rate of return (ERR). It states that the initial investment of $4 million is equal to the present value of an annuities of $675,000 required annually for 16 years. Discounted at Agno rate represented by R. To find the value of R that satisfies this equation, which is the ARR, we will typically employ an financial calculator of spreadsheet software. We input the initial cash outflow of negative $4 million, followed by the series of 16 annual cash inflows of $675,000. By performing this calculation, the internal rate of return (ERR) is determined to be approximately 14.5%. Finally, this calculated ERR is compared to the project required rate of return or discount rate, which is given as 11%, since the ERR of 14.5% is greater than the discount rate of 11%. The project is deemed acceptable as its expected return exceeds the required rate of return. Okay, the analysis leads to the following recommendation. Firstly, the net present value project is positive, calculate at 980,934 and $2,900. The positive NPV indicates that the project is expected to add a value to ANOVA Animation Studio. Secondly, the profitability index for the project is 1.2452. Since this value is greater than 1, it suggests that the project is expected to generate more cash flow than its initial cost. Thirdly, the internal rate of return for the project is estimated to be 14.5%. This rate of return is higher than the project discount rate, which is 11%, indicating that the project expected return excess the required rate of return. Based on these findings, the conclusion is as follows. Nova Animation Studio should proceed with the expansion project for several key reasons. Firstly, the project is financially viable as demonstrated by the positive net present value. The profitability index greater than 1 and the internal rate of return exceeding the cost of capital. And then secondly, the expansion will enhance the studio production capacity, allowing it to effectively meet growing demand. Finally, this strategic move will strengthen Nova Animation Studios' competitiveness within the global animation market. The next slide with Zaki.
Now, let's see case study 2, the expansion of Velocity X Motors product line. Velocity X Motors, a leading manufacturer of high-performance skateboard in Australia, is considering expanding its product line to include gas-powered skateboard. With the growing demand for alternative transportation solutions, the company sees this as an opportunity to attract new customers and boost sales. The management believes they can sell 2,000 units annually for the next 10 years, after which solar-powered skateboards are expected to dominate the marketing, leading to the discontinuation of gas-powered models. Each gas-powered skateboard is expected to retail for $200, with variable cost of $40 per unit. Annual fixed costs related to production will amount to $160,000. The company must invest $450,000 in new production equipment, which will be fully depreciated over the 10 years lifespan of the project using the strike line method. Additionally, in initial investment of $50,000 in net working capital, verified as NVC will be required, but this amount will be fully recovered at the end of the project. The company marginal tax rate is 34%, and the required rate of returns is 10%. First, the total initial cash outlay includes equipment cost $450,000, net working capital $50,000. Total initial investment equal 450,000 plus 50,000 equals 500,000. Therefore, the initial investment $500,000. Second, annual net cash flow. Annual net cash flow estimation years 1 to 9. To estimate the annual net cash flow, we calculate revenue, variable cost, depreciation tax, and net income. Revenue equals 2,000 units times 200 equals 400,000. Variable cost equals 2,000 times 40 equals 80,000. Depreciation equals 450,000 divided by 10 equals 45,000. Earning before tax or EBT. EBT equals revenue minus variable cost minus fixed cost minus depreciation. EBT equals 115,000. tax. Tax equal EBT times tax rate equals 39,100. Net income. Net income equals EBT minus tax equals 115,000 minus 39,100 equals 75,900. Net income. Net income equals EBT minus tax equals 115,000 minus 39,100 equals 75,900. Add back depreciation, non-cash expense. Annual net cash flow equals net income plus depreciation. Annual net cash flow equals 75,900 plus 45,000 equals 120,900. Annual net cash flow equals $120,900. Third, terminal cash flow, years 10. In years 10, the terminal cash flow includes annual net cash flow $120,900. Recovery of NWC $50,000. Terminal cash flow equals 120,900 plus 50,000 equals 170,900. Terminal cash flow, years 10, equals $170,900. For net present value, using a 10% discount rate, the NPV is calculated as flow. Present value of annual cash flow, years 1 to 9. PV equals CV times 1 minus 1 plus R to the power of negative n, divided by R substitutive value. PV equals 120,900 times 1 minus 1 plus 0.10 to the power of negative 9, divided by 0.10 first. Calculate 1 plus 0.10 to the power of 9. 1 plus 0.10 to the power of 9 approximately equals to 0.3579. The annually factor. Annually factor equals 1 minus 1 divided by 2.3579 divided by 0.10 equals 1 minus 0.4241 divided by 0.10 equals 0.579 divided by 0.10 approximately equals 5.759. The PV equals 120,900 times 5.759 approximately equals 696,263.1. Present value of terminal cash flow, years 10. PV equals terminal cash flow divided by 1 plus R to the power of n substitutive value. PV equals 170,900 times 0.3855 approximately equals 65,881.95. Total present value. Total PV equals 696,263.1 plus 65,881.95 approximately equals 762,145. NPV. NPV equals total PV minus initial investment. NPV equals 762,145 minus 500,000 equals 262,145. NPV approximately equals $262,145. Okay, first the recommendation Velocity X Motors shall proceed with the expansion into gas-powered skateboard for the following reason. Positive NPV, the project has a substantial substantial positive NPV of $262,145. Strong annual cash flow. The project generates healthy annual cash flow, the $120,900. Working capital recovery. The fully recovery of the initial working capital in investment, $50,000. Market opportunity. The expansion aligns with the current rising demand of alternative transportation solution before the market transition of solar power option. Next is Nafa.
Now, my turn to explain case study 3, the expansion decision at Quantum Tech Solution. Quantum Tech Solution, a leading technology firm based in Japan, is considering constructing a new production facility to manufacture it, its last line of high-performance memory cards. The The proposed facility will require an initial investment of 800 million pounds yen and operate for 5 years. The financial team plans to use the straight-line depreciation method, meaning the facility's value will be fully depreciated over its useful life. Each memory card is expected to sell for 15,000 Japanese yen with variable production cost of 10,000 Japanese yen per unit and fixed salary expense of 180 million Japanese yen annually. Before proceeding with the investment, the company's executive want to analyze the financial feasibility of the project by performing a break-even analysis. Break-even analysis, the break-even point is where total revenue equal total cost. The formula is break-even unit equal total fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit. Okay, first of all, let's dive into contribution margin per unit. The contribution margin per unit is the difference between the selling price and variable cost. Contribution margin per unit equals selling price minus variable cost contribution. Margin per unit equal 15,000 minus 10,000 equal 5,000. Calculation. The annual depreciation expense is calculated as depreciation equal initial investment divided by useful life equal 800 million divided by 5 equal 160 million. Now, total fixed cost. Total fixed costs include both fixed operating expense and depreciation. Total fixed cost equal fixed cost plus depreciation. Total fixed cost equal 180 million plus 160 million and 340 million. Then, finally, we can find the break-even unit. The break-even point is where total revenue equal total cost. The formula is break-even unit equal total fixed cost divided by contribution margin per unit. Break-even unit equal 340 million divided by 5,000 equals 68,000. Break-even unit equals 68,000 unit per year. It's time for strategic recommendation and conclusion. From the previous metric, we can conclude that break-even units 68,000. The company must sell at least 68,000 units annually to cover costs. Market demand assessment. If market demand exceeds 68,000 units, the project is viable. Quantum Tech solution should proceed only if the market demand is projected to exceed 68,000 units annually. Otherwise, the project may not be financially feasible, setting a target of at least 85,000 to 90,000 units, 25 to 30% above break-even, would be recommended to provide an adequate margin of safety. Next slide, Andy.
Okay, now we'll be analyzing custody 4, focusing on Nexa Tech Solution. Nexa Tech Solution is evaluating two financing options for acquiring new high-speed precision equipment. Loan option. Borrow 250 million South Korean won at a 9% annual interest rate over 6 years with a residual value of 30 million South Korean won. Lease option. Pay 52 million South Korean won annually for 6 years, with lease payment being tax deductible. The corporate tax rate is 35%. Nexa Tech Nexa Tech Solution is considering two financing options, a loan and a lease, and we need to determine which option is financially more advantageous. And let's see which one will be the winner.
Okay, let's first look at the loan option. To compare the option effectively, we need to calculate the annual loan payment. The loan amount is 250 million won, the term is 6 years, and the annual interest rate is 9%. Using the percent value interest factor of annuity at 9% for 6 years, which is 4.486, we can calculate the annual payment. The loan payment is calculated as 250 million won divided by 4.486, resulting in approximately 55,729,000 won per year. Next, we need to understand the true cost of the loan after considering the tax benefit of the interest expense. Remember, the residual value is 30 million won and the corporate tax rate is 35%. We also need to consider depreciation using the straight line method. The annual depreciation is calculated as the acquisition cost of 250 million won minus the residual value of 30 million won, all divided by the useful life of 6 years, resulting in approximately 36,666,667 won per year. The after-tax cost of debt is the interest rate of 9% multiplied by 1 minus the tax rate of 35%, which equals 5.85% of or approximately 6%.
This table shows how the loan balance decreases over the 6 years. You can see the breakdown of each annual payment into interest and principal.
As we briefly mentioned, the annual depreciation is calculated as the equation cost minus the residual value divided by the useful life, which is we've already established is approximately 36,666,667 won per year. Next.
This table is crucial as it calculates the after-tax cash outflows for the loan option years by year. It conditions the loan payment, the interest portion, the depreciation expense, the tax shield generated by the interest and depreciation, and finally, the after-tax cash outflow. Notice how the tax shield reduces the actual cash outflow each year. The last row accounts for the residual value. Since the equipment has a residual value, this is a cash inflow at the end of year 6, but it's also subject to tax, resulting in an after-tax cash inflow of negative 19,500,000 won. By discounting this after-tax cash outflow at the after-tax cost of debt, of 6%, we arrive at the total percent value cost of the loan option, which is approximately 171,951,257 won. Next slide.
Now, let's analyze the lease option. The key terms are an annual lease payment of 52 million won for 6 years, with the payment being tax deductible. Well, use the same discount rate of 5.85% or approximately 6%, which is the after-tax cost of debt. The tax benefit of the lease payment or the tax yield is calculated as the lease payment of 52 million won multiplied by the tax rate of 35%, resulting in 18,200,000 won per year. Therefore, the after-tax cash outflow for the lease each year is the lease payment of 52 million won minus the tax yield of 18,200,000 won, which equaled 33,800,000 won per year.
Okay, this table shows the consistent annual after-tax cash outflow of 33,800,000 won over the 6-year lease term. Discounting this after-tax cash outflows at the 6% discount rate gives us the total present value cost of the lease option, which is approximately 166,280,321. Okay, now we can compare the total present value cost of the two options. The present value cost of the loan option is approximately 171,951,257 won, while the present value cost of the lease option is approximately 166,280,321. The difference is approximately 5,742,937 won in favor of the lease. Based on this quantitative analysis, using a 6% after-tax discount rate, the recommendation is that the Nexa Tech solution should choose the lease option for the following key reason. The lease option offers a lower present value cost, saving the company approximately 5.74 million won compared to loan. The lease provides more predictable cash flow with fixed annual payment of 52 million won. The loan, while having a fixed payment, requires the company to also manage the implication of asset ownership, such as depreciation. Finally, depending on the lease qualification, leasing can potentially keep the requirement of the balance sheet. This can improve financial ratio like return of an asset and the debit to equity ratio. Okay, with that means the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for your attention and time. See you.